Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chrissy and this is my cozy corner. In today's video, as you can see, I'm kind of doing a Halloween theme related video, sort of. Let me explain. So you know how on TikTok they do a daub of the day, a drink, outfit, and a book? Well, I'm gonna do a daub of the day. So we're gonna do a drink, trying to make it like Halloween color-ish. I'm gonna try to do like a purple. Outfit, obviously I have my spiderweb sweater and the cat pumpkin earrings. And instead of book, it's gonna be audiobook recommendations. Are they a trick or are they a treat? So if they are a trick, the audiobook is not a recommendation from me, and if it's a treat, then that means it is a recommended audiobook. So let's head over to the kitchen and I'm gonna go ahead and make my drink of the day, and then we'll get started on our audiobook recommendations. I call this the Corpse Reviver. It is a mocktail. There is no alcohol in it, but it tastes very refreshing. Very, like, think mojito. Not minty, but the refreshing taste of a mojito. That is what it reminds me of. It's really good. We're here to talk about audiobooks, and if anybody tells you that audiobooks do not count as reading, shame on them, because it does. I count it as reading. So there is 3 different styles of narration. There is the single narrator, where it's just one person narrating for all point of views throughout the book. Sometimes they change their voices up. Then we have dual narrator, and dual narrator, there's more than one narrator, but when it's their chapter, they read all the voices. So for example, let's just say it is a man and a woman, and the woman's character's name is Sarah, and then the man is Cass. All right, so Cass will read for his point of view and also do his voice and Sarah's voice, and then when it's Sarah's chapter, she will do Cass's voice and her own voice. Now duet is when they do their own voices, so if Cass is talking, Cass is talking. If Sarah is talking, Sarah is talking. So I will insert an image of the audiobook. That way you know who is the narrator or narrators. And also I will let you know what sort of narration it is, dual, duet, or single. And my rating for the audiobook and the book, because sometimes an audiobook's narration is really good, but maybe I didn't necessarily like the book. And then the last thing, I'll let you know if it's a trick or a treat. So a treat means I liked it, a trick means I did not. So let's go ahead and jump in. The first audiobook that I'm going to talk about today is Kingdom of the Wicked by Kerri Maniscalco. I read all these in the physical form, but recently I read Throne of the Fallen, also by Kerri Maniscalco, and I thought that we had to remember everything from the books, so I was kind of rereading them by listening to them, and I only got through the first book until somebody told me you didn't need to do that because it was a whole standalone. So I did listen to the first book, and it was so good. I gave the actual book 4 stars when I read it the first time, and then when I went back and listened to it, the audio narration is 5 stars, and it is a single narration, one narrator, and she just kills it. Highly recommend. It is a treat. Now, I did just mention Kingdom of the Wicked by Kerri Maniscalco as a treat of an audiobook, so I did want to really quick talk about Throne of the Fallen, also by the same author. I read it physically, but one of my friends listened to the audiobook and she said it was really good. So we're going to put that one as treat because I trust her judgment. And what she did tell me that it is similar to Kingdom of the Wicked's narration in the sense that it's very immersive with music and all that stuff. But what's different is Kingdom of the Wicked is a single narration, whereas Throne of the Fallen is a dual. And she said both narrators, female and male, are really good. And the male has a super hot voice is what she said. So we're going to put that one as a treat, even though I actually read it. But now I'm going to go listen to the audiobook. Okay, so the next audiobook that I'm going to talk about is The Locked Door by Frida McFadden. This is a single narration. Now, the thing about this one is I was actually reading it in the physical form and I wasn't enjoying it, but I felt like I was far enough that I just wanted to finish it. So I switched over to the audiobook to see if that would help, and that almost made it worse. So I think I gave the actual book 2 stars. And if you can't tell, this audiobook is a trick. I did not like it. I felt like it was something with the narrator's voice. I already didn't like the book, but the narrator's voice just made it like so much worse. So definitely don't recommend this one. This one is a trick. I gave the book and the audiobook 2 stars. The next book is The Selection by Kira Cass. Now, this book I read a long time ago, and I only got to the first one of the series, and I just never read the rest of the series after that. And I think I initially gave it a 3 stars. Now, I wanted to pick the series back up again, so I decided, why not just reread it, but in the form of an audiobook? Now, this is a single narrator. I felt like this one was definitely a trick. I think I gave the audiobook 1 star. The narrator sounds like a robot. I definitely don't recommend this for audiobook. I might have to go back and try to reread the first book because I couldn't stand the audiobook. It was so bad that I had to DNF like I think I was like 75% of the way through and I just DNF'd. I can't listen to this anymore. The next book is Till Death by Miranda Lynn. This book I read on my Kindle and I loved it so much that I bought the hardcover, and then I saw all over TikTok that if you don't listen to the audiobook, you are severely missing out. So I listened to it like on my walks. Like I would take my dog out for a walk and I would listen to it. This one is a duet narration. So the one character talks for their part and then the other character talks for their part, and it is a male and a female. So that was really cool watching them do their dialogue back and forth with each other, and there's music and it's so immersive. I think I gave the actual book 4.5 stars, but if you couldn't already tell, this one is a treat. I gave this audio narration 5 out of 5 stars. It was fabulous. Highly recommend. The next one is Zodiac Academy 8 by Caroline Peckham and Suzanne Valenti. Now, this one I read physically. I read all the books physically. I even started book 8 physically, and it was such a drag compared to the previous books that I was like, oh my goodness, but I have to see it through because I've gotten this far into the series. So I switched over to audiobook, and it is dual narration. All the characters have different voices, but of course they read for their entire chapter no matter who the character is. And every single point of view has such a unique voice. If you can't already tell, this audiobook is a treat. The voices are so good, you could even tell the difference between the 2 twin girls' voices. It's the same narrator, but like she changes the tone of their voices because they got different personalities. It was so good. 5 out of 5. The book was like a 2 or a 3. The book itself was like a 3 star. But the audio narration, 5 out of 5. It was absolutely such a treat. If you haven't already been able to tell, I love to reread books or listen to books that I've already read before to either just relive that experience or maybe prepare myself for the next book that is coming out in the series. And this book is no different, and that's going to be The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. I read the first 2 books physically, and I still have not read the 3rd book, and my goal is to read it by the end of fall. So I recently reread by listening to the first book on audio, and I'm gonna also reread or listen to the 2nd book on audio. And it is a dual narration. There is a whole cast of characters, and they're very unique to each of their personalities. This book I gave 4 stars, but the audiobook is a treat. I gave it 5 stars. It is so good. If you find yourself not really enjoying it while you're reading, try switching over to the audiobook because it is really good. The next book I recently used one of my credits for on Audible, but I have not listened to it. I did get a little taste of it. I have read the books physically, and that is The Lord of the Rings. I have been wanting to go back after watching The Rings of Power and reread them, but it is an investment to reread, so I figured why not listen to them. And then I found out that Andy Serkis, who plays Gollum, is actually the narrator. So if you're going to download one and read it, like I listened to the sample of his voice, he is absolutely fantastic. So I think this one is going to be a treat. I did give The Lord of the Rings 5 stars when I read it, and I have a feeling the audiobook is going to be a 5 stars too. Andy Serkis is already an amazing actor, so why would he not do a good job with the audiobook? The Lord of the Rings is a single narrator, but I heard that Andy Serkis does such a great job. It's actually really hard to tell there's only one narrator because he makes each character their own and his voice changes so drastically for each character. So I'm really excited to try the audiobook out. So I am gonna listen to that one, and I'll probably update you guys maybe in a later video and let you know how it goes. But I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a treat. Okay, so the next one is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This one I read quite a while ago, and then I heard all the hype around the audio narrations, so I had to see what that was about. And it is a duet narration in an interview style. Well, the book in general is an interview style, so the duet narration with the interview style goes so well with it. And this book I gave a 4 or 4.5 out of 5 stars, and the audiobook is a treat. It is a 5 out of 5 stars. The audiobook is so good. The next book is The Wedding People by Allison S. Patch. This book was one of my book club picks for one of the book clubs that I'm in, and I decided to listen to it on audio. It is a single narration, and I gave the book in general, like plot and all that, a 4 out of 5 stars. And the audio narration, I would say, was pretty good. I think it would be a treat. It was 4 out of 5 stars for audio narration as well. She did a really good job keeping me engaged. I don't think that I would have liked it as much if I didn't listen to it on audio. So the next book I picked during Christmas time last year, and I was really looking for a book to keep me engaged while I was cleaning and wrapping presents and doing all these things and getting ready for family to come into town to stay with us. So that is Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. I listened to the first book on audio, and it is dual narration, and then I ended up reading the rest of them, purchasing and reading the rest of them because I did like the first book a lot. Now, I think I rated the books in general like around the 3-star range. I feel like the first one was more of a 3.5, 4 stars, but I was really engaged with the voices, and both the male and the female did a really, really, really good job. So obviously this one is a treat. I would say the audio narration is a 4.5 out of 5 stars. And like I said, the books are more of a 3.5. The first one I liked a lot, and I think it was because of the audio narration, but as I started to read them, it kind of felt like the stories were getting repetitive, but I did hear that Christian's voice in the second book is really hot, so I'm like, maybe I should go back and listen to them. So yeah, I do recommend it on audio, at least the first book. The next book is Butcher and Blackbird by Bryn Weaver. This is a serial killer romance. The female main character and the male main character are both serial killers, but it's actually funny and not like super dark or anything like that. Overall plot is a solid 4 star. Now the audiobook is duet narration. The narrators do a great job of bringing the characters to life, so this is definitely a treat. I would give the audiobook a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I feel like if you want something different for a romance and you're looking for a good audiobook, this one is perfect. The next one is Haunting Adeline by H.D. Carlton. I physically read the first My husband is outside grilling and he brought the cat out with him. And wait, come back. Look. Oh, that was funny. He's grilling. He brought the cat outside with him. That is so cute. Anyway, what was I saying? Okay, so Haunting Adeline, thought the book was okay when I read it, but I wanted to see the rest of the story through, and there's only 2 books in the series. It is a cat and mouse duet. So I decided to pick up the second book on audio. When I listened to it, The narration was pretty good. It is a duet narration. The male main character and the female main character talk back and forth in dialogue, and they did a great job with it. Overall, the story was still only actually worse. I think I gave like the plot 2 stars, but I thought the narration was really good. I would say like 4 out of 5 stars for the narration, and it probably is a 5, but it's only because I didn't even really like the plot of the book. The only thing that kept me listening was the fact that the narration was so good. So I guess I'm gonna give the narration a treat, but like the actual books, I don't really recommend them. I would say they're more of a trick. So this one's a hard one. We're gonna put it in trick because I don't really recommend the books. They're like, you know. The next one is Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. It is a dual narration. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and say this one is a trick because I actually DNF'd the audiobook because I could not stand the guy's point of view part. The woman did great, but I just couldn't stand the guys at all. It was pretty bad. This is a soft DNF for the book in general, but a hard DNF for the audiobook. I am interested in actually reading the books though, because I was enjoying the story, but every time he talked, it just took me out of it. So it's a DNF, so it's hard to like rate it, but I feel like the audiobook is like a 2 star, and I can't really rate the book for plot because I didn't finish it, but maybe it'll be in an upcoming video because I do plan to go back to it. The next one is Him, and it is a 2-book series with a novella. This one I read physically, and I recommended it based off the plot to one of my friends, but she ended up listening to it on audio, and she said it was fantastic. So it is a dual narration, and after I physically read it and then she gave me that glowing review about the audiobook, I did use one of my credits on Audible to listen to it not that long ago. I want to say beginning of this year, and it's a treat. It is a 5-star audiobook, a 4.5-star book in general. It is one of my favorite romance books, but the male narrators, specifically Wes, they're hot. And if that didn't convince you, then I don't know what will. There you have it, my audiobook recommendations. And some that I don't recommend, but I hope you enjoyed this video and you got something out of it, whether that's a new book recommendation or a new audiobook that you can listen to on long drives while you're walking the dog or cleaning your house, something that will really immerse you in a story. So I hope I did my job there, but thank you so much for tuning in. I post videos every Sunday. I do hope to see you then. Bye guys.